Good day, everyone. Today we're going to discuss posting to the ledger of external transactions, journal entries, and preparation of trial balance. After the transactions are recorded in the journal, there are these are then posted in the book of final entry. It is called the ledger. The process of transferring the entries from the journal to respective ledger accounts is called posting to the ledger. Posting to the ledger is entering information from the journal to the respective ledger accounts. What was debited in the journal will be debited also in the ledger. And what was credited in the journal will likewise be credited in the ledger account. This posting process is carried throughout the year, and at the end of the financial year, the ledger accounts are closed, totaled, and balanced. This process of getting the end balance of each account is called balancing the ledger accounts. The balancing of the ledger is carried out to find out the differences between the debit and credit of each account, which differences will be used in the preparation of the trial balance. General ledger and subsidiary ledgers. What are these? General ledger and subsidiary ledgers. The general ledger is a control account that provides a record of each financial transaction that takes place during the life of an operating business. A general ledger is used by businesses that employ the double entry bookkeeping method, which means that each financial transaction affects at least two sub-ledger accounts, and each entry has at least one debit and one credit. The transaction details contained in the general ledger are compiled and summarized at various levels to produce initially a trial balance, then the financial statements, income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flow, and other financial reports. Subsidiary ledger is a group of similar accounts whose combined balances equal to the balance in a specific general ledger account. It is a record of the details of a general ledger account. Examples of subsidiary ledgers are ledgers for accounts receivable and accounts payable. An accounts receivable subsidiary ledger is an accounting ledger that shows the transaction and payment history of each customer to whom the business extends credit. The balance in each customer account is periodically reconciled with the accounts receivable balance in the general ledger to ensure accuracy. So there is the total of the subsidiary ledgers should balance the amount indicated in the accounts receivable in the general ledger. The subsidiary ledger is also commonly referred to as a sub-ledger or sub-account. Accounts payable ledger or subsidiary ledger maintains the records of all the accounts payable that a company has. It shows the transaction history and amounts owed to each supplier or creditor. An accounts payable of the business is essentially an extension of credit from a supplier that gives a business reasonable time to pay the credit. So these are purchases on account. So these are accounts payable. If there are so many suppliers, then the business has to maintain subsidiary ledger for each client. So posting to the ledger, we classify the accounts from the journal. So the recorded transactions in the journal are classified in the ledger. So double entry bookkeeping, we only use posting to the ledger when we use double entry bookkeeping. So here is an example of the general ledger account. This is accounts receivable. You will see here accounts receivable. So this is accounts receivable. And this is the account number of the accounts receivable. So this is the date on the journal source. So this is cross-referencing or cross-indexing. You have to write here the posting reference from where you get the postings here in the ledger. So it came from SJ1, Sales Journal number 1. So it should be a collection of accounts receivable. So, or a sales on account, sorry. It's a sale on account. So it's a debit to accounts receivable. So there was an error in entering here. This should have been here in the debit because it is a SJ, sales journal. So this is debit accounts receivable, credit sales. So this should have been in the debit side. So this is a general ledger for accounts receivable. So you have the date, the description, this has been empty. And then the cross-reference, which is SJ1. It should have been here in the debit column. So then the balance. So the balance. Now here is the subsidiary ledger. Instead of using the account, okay. Okay, instead of using an account title here, the name of the debtor or buyer is written in the account name and then the assigned number of the subsidiary ledger. So we have the date, description, posting reference number or posting reference, then the debit, credit, and balance. So this is a subsidiary ledger. The posting reference here will be the sales journal because it is from the sales journal that you can get the details of the transaction. Okay. What is the purpose of subsidiary ledger? So a subsidiary ledger contains the details to support a general ledger control account. For instance, the subsidiary ledger for accounts receivable contains the information for each of the company's credit sales to customers. Each customer's remittance, return of merchandise, discount, and so on. So all the history of sale to on account to a customer are recorded in the subsidiary ledger. With these details in the subsidiary ledger, the accounts receivable in the general ledger can report summary amounts of the accounts receivable activity. So in the general ledger, summary na lang. Wala na yung details. Yung mga details nandun na sa subsidiary ledger. Okay, we go to the next slide. So this is from the sales journal. So we take the example of Dr. Guevara. This is 5,000. Here, debit 5,000. So this came from page 1, SJ, Sales Journal, page 1. So andito siya sa posting reference. So the invoice number, ito yon. And then the date, ito. Okay? So ang source niya ay sales journal because this is an account receivable subsidiary ledger. So naka-record yung accounts receivable natin sa sales journal. Diba? Kung gumagamit ng special journal. Pero kung hindi naman gumagamit ng special journal, edi doon sa general journal. Pero kasi kung merchandising usually meron talaga yung special journal na sales journal. So, rules for posting entries in the ledger. A separate account is opened for each account and entries from the journal are posted in the respective ledger account accordingly. So, bawat kunyari may transaction ka, debit, cash, credit, Terima Core Capital, gagawan mo ng ledger yung cash at yung Terima Core. Tig-isa sila. Hindi katulad sa journal, sama-sama. Basta arrange lang siya according to date or happening of events. Pero pagdating sa ledger, kasi nagka-classify na nga tayo pagdating sa posting to the ledger. Kaya hindi natawag na classifying phase. Kina-classify na natin yung accounts or yung journal entry isa-isa based on the account. So, sa journal entry, sa journal, arrange according to the happening of events. Pagdating sa ledger, arrange according to account titles. So, lahat ng account title na to, lahat ng date na merong record dyan, ilalagay natin dun sa account title na to. So, pag natapos nating ipasok lahat sa bawat account title, yung mga journal entries na talagang para doon, magkakaroon na tayo ng summary kung magkano ang naging transaction dun sa account na yon. So, the second will be the account which is debited in the journal should also be debited in the ledger account. So, kung ano yung debit mo sa journal, yun din ang debit mo sa ledger. Kung ano ang credit mo sa journal, yun din yung credit mo sa ledger. And then the third one is there should be cross-indexing for each ledger post. So, dito, balikan natin yung example, palaging may cross-indexing. Etong page 1, nakalagay dito. Tapos itong 001 na to, hindi natin na cross-reference pa, no? So, lagyan natin ng cross-reference ito. Ito, itong account number na ito, ilalagay natin dito sa posting reference dito. 001. Yan, dapat. Dapat itong sales journal page mo nakalagay doon sa ledger mo. Itong number ng ledger mo dapat nakalagay doon sa journal mo. So, para pag hinanap mo yung entrada sa journal, saan mo ba yan nilagay? Makikita mo nandito sa ledger na to. Ito namang ledger, pag binasa mo, tatanungin mo, saan ba galing tong 5,000 na to? makikita mo, galing to sa journal na ito. So, importante yon. So, ano yung tatlong rules for posting entries in the ledger? Kailangan mag-create ka ng separate account para sa mga transactions. Isa-isang account para sa similar transaction. So, pangalawa, kung anong dinebit mo dun sa journal, siya ring ide-debit mo sa ledger. And then, pangatlo, kailangan palagi ka nagko-cross-indexing. Sa simula, pag nag-journalize ka, walang entrada yung posting reference ng journal mo. Pero pag nag-post ka na sa ledger, automatic magkakaroon na ng entry yung posting reference mo kasi nagko-cross-referencing ka na. So, tingnan natin tong mga transactions na to ng Terimacore Drugstore. So, yung una, investment of cash. This is first. Then, pangalawa, payment of advertising expense. Ang pangatlo, purchase on account of supplies. And then, pang-apat, purchase of merchandise, partly for cash and partly on account. So, merong accounts payable at may cash. And then, the last one is recording of cash sale. This is number 5. So, meron tayong 5 transaction dito sa general journal. So, meron ka ditong cash, yan yung general journal account mo. Gagawa ka ng ledger para dyan sa cash. Meron kang Terimacore Capital, gagawa ka ng ledger para dyan sa Terimacore Capital. Meron kang advertising expense, gagawa ka ng advertising expense ledger para dyan. Eto cash, nagawan mo na yung isa, hindi mo nagagawan uli. Isang beses mo lang gagawan. Hindi pwedeng kung ilang cash transaction yun din. So, no. Kapag nakagawa ka na ng isa, hindi ka nagagawa uli. Isa lang ang kailangan. So, supplies expense, gagawa ka dyan ng ledger account. Accounts payable, gagawa ka. Purchases, gagawa ka. Cash, hindi uli kasi meron na. Accounts payable, hindi uli kasi nagawa mo na dito. So, itong cash, hindi na uli kasi meron ka nang nagawa nung una. Etong sales, meron bang sales? Wala. So, gagawa ka. So, ano-anong account titles magagawa natin? Cash, Terimacore Capital, advertising expense, supplies expense, accounts payable, purchases, and sales. So, yun yung mga ledger accounts na gagawin mo to record these transactions. So, ito yung general journal entry natin for capital. So, a separate account is opened for each journal entry. Ito, cash. Ginawa na natin to. Ito yung cash. Ginawa natin. Ito yung account number. Itong account number, nasa discretion niya ng management kung paano nila gagawa ng account number, yung mga account names na yan or account title. So, we have the date. So, ito yung January 5. Then, description, Terimacore Capital. Saan galing na journal? J1. General Journal. Page 1. So, let's go back to that. Ito siya, cash. So, nasa page 1. Galing siya sa page 1. So, ng general journal. And then, how much? We have debit. And then the balance. You write the balance because debit, credit, balance. Now here, advertising expense. So, another expense. So, again, the account name, then the account number, then the date, description, posting reference, So, journal number, debit, credit, then balance. So, that is your general ledger. The account which is debited in the journal should also be debited in the ledger. So, balik tayo dun sa 25,000 na cash. Ito, sa journal entry, naka-debit yung cash. Diba? Naka-debit. Tapos naka-credit yung capital. So, kailangan, pag niledger natin siya, ito siya. Ito, mali ito. Dito siya. Dapat, debit siya dun eh. Dapat nandito siya. Okay? Dapat 25,000 nandito sa debit. Kamali ng sulat yung ballpen doon kasi nakatapat eh. So, debit, wala ito, bura. Then balance, 25,000. Maganda rin yung may mali yung presentation kasi nako-correct natin. Kasi sabi nung ng procedure, kung naka-debit sa journal, naka-debit din sa ledger. Naka-debit sa journal, eto yung data, tama naman itong data, nasa journal number 1 siya. Kaso nakalagay doon sa illustration sa credit, di ilagay natin sa debit para mapatama yung sinasabi nitong rules on posting to the ledger. Okay? So, ito yung there should be cross-indexing for each ledger post. Na-explain ko na yan. So, ito yung pinanggalingan niya ay sales journal. Accounts receivable to, diba? Accounts receivable, therefore, sales journal, sales on account. Kunyari, yan ang number ng accounts receivable, 002. So, ito yung date. Yung posting reference niya ay sales journal number page 1. And then, ito, accounts receivable siya, naka-debit. Tama, naka-debit. Accounts receivable. Kasi debit, accounts receivable, credit sales. So, naka-debit. Tama naman. So, the balance. Okay. Now, there should be cross-indexing. Ito yung general journal natin, di ba? Nung una, wala yan. Ito, tignan nyo, wala pa. Pero once nag-post na tayo, kailangan lagay na natin to. Ito yung control number ng cash. Ito yung control number ng capital. Pwede rin lagyan nyo na lang ng check. Okay din yung, pwede rin yung. Basta lang malaman mo na na-post na ito. Kasi ito, pag nilagyan mo na yan ng PR dito, ibig sabihin yan, na i-post mo na yan sa ledger. Meron na yung ledger. Sorry, ito hindi pala pwedeng check lang. Kailangan talaga isulat mo sa ang ledger account mo ito nilagay. So, ibig sabihin niyan, pag may number na yan dyan lahat, naka-record na yan sa ledger. So, hindi pala pwedeng check lang. Kailangan lagay niyo talaga yung control account. Okay? Yan yung tinatawag na cross-indexing. Itong journal, meron kang posting reference. Ito yung ledger account number. Ito yung ledger account number. Tapos yung ledger naman, makikita doon yung journal page number. J1, J1. Ibig sabihin, General Journal page 1. SJ1, Sales Journal page 1. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng mga makikita nyo sa posting reference ng ledger. So, itong sales journal, hindi mo na iisa-isahin. Total na lang na accounts receivable. Yun na yung i-entrada mo sa ledger. Kasi accounts receivable naman kung tinotal mo, papasok mo na yung accounts receivable mo sa ledger. Pero ang reference mo ay 002. Ano ang magiging, ito yung gagamitin mo sa um, ito yung galing sa, ito yung control account ng ledger. Pero sa ledger, ang makikita mo, SJ page 1 kasi dito galing yun. Itong ibig sabihin nito, naka-record ito sa general ledger accounts receivable kasi 002 yung accounts receivable. Tapos itong cost of goods sold 302 naka-record, naka-debit at naka-credit sa merchandise inventory. Kung paano ni-record sa journal, ganun din i-record sa ledger. So, ayan, yung 10,000 na sabi ko kanina, SJ. Ito, di ba? O page 1. Ito siya. SJ1. Okay. Pero mali itong presentation dapat dito. Kasi accounts receivable, debit, credit, sales. So, dito uli siya. 10,000 sa debit. Okay? Naging smiley tuloy yan. So, yung 10,000 dito sa credit, dapat nasa debit. Kasi debit account, receivable, credit, sales yun. So, tama na yung balance. Okay. Ayan na yung same illustration din. We go to the subsidiary ledger. Naku, hirap na nito. Daming XX na araw-araw na nito. So, ito presentation ng sales journal tsaka yung subsidiary ledger. So, ito yung 16 description. Ito na yung pangalan nung si Dr. Guevara. Subsidiary ledger na to eh. From the general ledger, di ba ang total nilagay natin do sa general ledger ay 10,000. Ayan ang inentrada natin sa 002 eh. Ito yung general ledger account niya eh. Ang pinasok natin 10,000. So sa general ledger, di mo makikita kung sino-sino yung nangutang. Pero pagdating sa subsidiary ledger, doon mo makikita. Kaya kailangan niya sa subsidiary ledger. So sinasummarize mo yung mga totals ng subsidiary ledger. Dapat mag-i-equal yun sa accounts receivable na nakalagay sa general ledger. So ito same, you have the date. Ito yung date ng invoice. Tapos yung description, yung invoice number. Tapos, ayun na yung pangalan ni Dr. Guevara, no? And then, so gagawa mo yan bawat isa. Kasi kay Dr. Guevara lang to. Gagawaan mo din yung kay Dr. Pelayo, kay Dr. Nuevo, Dr. Riminding. So, meron kang 4 na subsidiary ledger. Bawat isang customer, isang subsidiary ledger. So, magkakaroon yan. Kung mangungutang pa sila uli, doon ilalagay. Kung magbabayad sila, doon ilalagay. Kaya nga, may debit, may credit. So, ang debit niya, yung inutang niya, credit niya, yung payment niya. So, she has to balance. So, para itong balance ng accounts receivable, pag tinotal mo, tatumba siya nung accounts receivable sa general ledger. So we go to this one. Ito na yung summary of posting process. Dalawang klase yung journal natin, general journal at special journal. So kapag general journal, diretso lang siya sa general ledger. Kung ang entrada mo galing sa general journal, di doon ka sa general ledger. Katulad ng depreciation expense. Wala naman yung hindi naman yung cash disbursement, hindi naman yung cash receipt, hindi naman yung sales on account, hindi naman yung purchases on account, hindi naman yung returns. Di ilalagay natin siya sa general journal. Magiging general journal entry siya. So, ilalagay natin siya sa general ledger. Ngayon, itong special journal, dalawa gagawin mo. Yung total niya, yung total ng total, ilalagay mo na sa general ledger. So, total nito, lalagay mo sa general ledger. Katulad yung kanina, yung accounts receivable total, lalagay mo sa accounts receivable. Yung total ng cost of goods sold, lalagay mo sa cost of goods sold. Total ng merchandise inventory lalagay ito. Itong dalawa, wala naman tong subsidiary. Pero tong accounts receivable, meron tong subsidiary. At so, itong nandito na entrada mo sa sales journal, ilalagay mo rin dito sa subsidiary ledger mo. So, gagawan mo yan. So, ang total nito, dapat mag-reconcile dun sa total nito. Okay? Clear na tayo dyan. So, balance the ledger accounts and summarize. So, maraming entrada yung ledger mo. At the end of the period, ito-total mo yon. Ang debit minus credit, yung balance are brought down and carried forward. Okay? Paano ba yung brought down and carried forward? At the end of every accounting period or year, all accounts which ledgers were filled with entries are closed. Total balance. Balancing of ledger means finding the difference between the debit and credit amounts of a particular account, showing the heavier total and the lighter total difference and recording the difference amount in the lighter total side. Ibig sabihin, may mas mataba, may mas mapayat, may mas marami, mas konti. Ganon. So, ilalagay natin yung difference dun sa mas konti para bumalanse sila. Paano ba yan? So, let's take a look at our journal entries. So, ito yung transactions natin consistently na ginagamit natin sa illustration. So, makakabisa nyo na yan. So, cash, capital, investment, advertising expense, payment. So, ito daw yung kunyari, yung cash ledger ng Terimacor. So, may entrada na 25,000 at may entrada na 3,000. O may debit collection of deposit of capital and then collection of cash sales. So, meron siyang 28,000 na total. And dito sa credit niya, ito kasi yung debit diba? Dito yung debit side, dito yung credit side. So, dito naman sa credit side, 2,000 at saka 10,000. O yung purchases niya. Okay? So, anong nangyari? Ay, supplies ito. Supplies ba ito? Ano ba itong 10,000 na to? Credit cash, tama, na 10,000. Purchases. So, meron siyang credit cash na 10,000. Ito yung heavier. Yung araw niya mabigat Ibig sabihin, mas marami, 28,000. Ito, 12,000 lang. So, ang net difference niya ay 16,000. Hindi natin susulat ito dun sa ledger. Imaginary nga siya, kaya light lang yung color. So, ito lang ang makikita natin sa ledger. Wala itong mga ito. Hindi kasali ito. Itong computation calculations hindi kasama. So, ayan. Ganyan ang itsura niya. Maganda. Malinis. Tapos, walang computation. Walang lampas-lampas. So, ito, 28,000. Ito, gagawin din natin kailangan balancing. Binabalance natin. Kaya nga, balancing of the accounts. Itong debit mo, kailangan balance dun sa credit mo. So, yung difference, anong tawag dyan? Lalagyan natin yan ng word? Balance carried down. O, yan yung balance carried down. Okay? Ano ba yung rule sa una? Let's go back to the rule. Hindi ko nabasa yung rule or procedure. Find the difference between the total debit and the total credit of the account. So, ito yung total debit, ito yung total credit of the account. Next, Put the difference on the smaller side so that the two sides become equal. O, ito daw. Tama yung sinabi ko kanina. O, ilalagay natin sa kokonti yung difference para mag-equal sila. Before writing the totals, draw a single line. And after the total, draw double lines. The two totals must be placed in two columns opposite each other. So, ilagyan natin ito yon, single line and double line. Ganun din to, single line and double line. Tapos, magkatapat sila. Kasi dapat balansyado sila, equal. Tapos, nasa column ng payat yung difference. Okay? Oh, number 3. When the difference is put on the smaller side, write balance carried down. So, ayan, sinulat natin tong balance carried down. Against the net balance, katapat ng net balance for the particular period. So, lagay natin to, period or month. Kung ano yung period na yan? Per month ba? Kukuhanin yung balance? Or per quarter? Or per year? So, depende sa period na gagamitin. So, balance carried down. Susulat mo, katapat nun yung net difference. O, pang-apat, on the next month, year, quarter, or the next period, the balance is brought down on the opposite side and the account is continued with this balance. So, kung nandito yung balance carried forward mo, yung opposite side ang gagamitin mo. Kung nandito yung balance carried forward mo, yung opposite side ang paglalagyan mo. So, eto, balance carried forward na sa credit, pag balance brought down mo, nandun na siya sa debit. Okay, tandaan nyo, balance carried forward, dun sa mas payat. Balance brought down, opposite nung mas payat. Para madaling tandaan, yung balance carried down, lalagay mo sa payat. Tapos, balance brought down, ilalagay mo na sa mataba. So, kung ito yung mataba, dito yung balance carried forward. And then, kung balance brought forward, dito naman siya uli sa mataba. Okay? Ganun lang siguro madaling tandaan yung balance carried forward at balance brought down. Because this balance brought down will be the beginning balance for the next period. So, ito yung balance at the end of the period. This will be the balance of the new period. Actually, this is the balance, the remaining balance of the previous period, which becomes the beginning balance of the succeeding period. O, tandaan, carried forward sa payat, brought down sa mataba. Okay, what is a T account then? Ang T account, hindi naman yan official document or official record. Ano lang yan? Parang scratch. O parang, ano yan? Scratch kung saan nagko-compute yung accountant. A T account is a graphic representation of a general ledger account. The name of the account is placed above the T. So, ito yung parang letter T. T. Tapos, ito. Okay. So, above the T, lalagay mo yung account name. So, cash. So, ito yung debit. Ito yung credit. Ito yung date. Ito yung amount. Date ng debit, date ng credit, at amount ng debit, amount ng credit. So, mukha siyang skeleton ng ledger. So, T-account is a fundamental accounting training tool used for visualizing the more complex transactions. It is the skeleton form of the ledger. So, ledger actually yan, without the details of, without the other details such as particulars, posting reference, yun ang wala dyan. Para lang yan mag-compute kung magkano ba dapat talaga yung balance, tama ba yung pag-post. Yan yung parang purpose niya is to visualize a more complex transaction. Okay na? Yan ang T-account. Tandaan, ang T-account parang worksheet yan. Hindi part yan ng official documents or records for accounting purposes. Pero sikat na sikat sila kasi they are tools in computing for the adjustments and corrections. Ginagamit yan pang-correct at pang-adjust. Mas magandang tignan. Mas madaling ma-analyze kapag naka-T-account yung mga transactions. So these are the journal entries na i-T-account natin. So try natin i-T-account. Instead, nagagamit tayo ng ledger kasi magpe-prepare tayong trial balance after the di ba? After the posting to the ledger, kukuhanin natin yung balances noon, gagawa tayo ng adjusted trial balance. So yung mga transactions natin, i-record natin sa T-account. Hindi na sa ledger kasi yung details pinakita ko na sa inyo dito, paano na lang ililipat sa ledger, sa journal. So simulan natin to sa January 5. So, yan ang unang transaction. Ano pa ba pinaka-unang transaction? January 5. Pareho, naka-record naman dito. Illustration lang yun. So, January 5, iti-account natin. Ito yun. January 5. Debit, cash, credit, Terima Core Capital. Okay? Let's go back. Advertising January 6, advertising expense 2,000, credit cash 2,000. So, advertising expense 2,000, January 6, and credit cash. Sabihin cash 2,000. So, ayan na. Correct. We go to the next. Supplies expense, credit payable, January 10. Supplies expense. Asan ba yung supplies expense na yan? Ayun. January 10, 1,000 credit cash. Cash ba yan o accounts payable? Accounts payable pala. Sorry. So, eto yan. Accounts payable. So, tingnan natin. We have purchases. Accounts payable na yun. Purchases, January 12. 10,000 cash, 30,000 accounts payable, 40,000 debit purchases. So, debit purchases. Debit purchases, 40,000, correct. Accounts payable, 30,000. And then cash, 10,000, correct. So, we go to the next. Cash. Recording of cash sales. So, 15, January 15. So, ito yung cash sales, debit cash, credit sales. Okay. And then we have the last transaction, which is the account sale. So, 10,000, credit 10,000, sales, and debit, accounts receivable 10. Lahat na ba may markings? Okay. Lahat na may check? Okay. May check na yun. Lahat, ibig sabihin, na-post na natin. Ang ibig sabihin nun, lahat ng nandito sa journal ay na-post na natin sa ledger. Kasi itong T account ay representation ng ledger. Kino-compute pa lang natin kung balansyado pa siya. So, pwedeng sa T account lang muna. So, ayan na yung mga balances natin. Makaka-prepare na tayo ng unadjusted trial balance. So, what is an unadjusted trial balance? It is a listing of all business accounts that are going to appear on the financial statements before the year end. Adjusting journal entries are made. So, yung unadjusted trial balance is the summary list of all external transactions. So, lahat ng external transactions nakasummarize sa unadjusted trial balance. Para sa susunod na stage natin, ang ire-record naman natin ay internal transactions. Pag pinagsama mo yung external transactions at saka yung internal transactions, magkakaroon ka ng adjusted trial balance. Okay? From the adjusted trial balance, pwede ka na mag-prepare ng financial statements. So, paano ba gagawin natin dyan? Ito na yung mga transactions natin, no? So, ito yung cash. Ang balance niya, 16,000 debit. Ang capital, 25,000 credit. Ang advertising expense, 2,000 debit. Supplies expense, 1,000 debit. Accounts receivable, 10,000 debit. Sales, 13,000 credit. Purchases, 40,000 debit. Accounts payable, total is 31,000 credit. So, lilipat natin isa-isa to. Itong mga totals na to or balances na to. Lahat ng balances na to, ililipat natin isa-isa sa trial balance. So, ito yung cash, 16,000. Accounts receivable, 10,000. Accounts payable, 31,000. Capital, 25,000. Sales, 13,000. Purchases, 40,000. Advertising expense, 2,000. Supplies expense, 1,000. So, total niya, 69,000. Ito rin, pag tinutal mo, 69,000. So, ibig sabihin nun, tama yung posting natin. Nagbalanse sila eh. Okay? So, this is the end of our posting to the ledger. Pero may isa pang tanong na dapat tayong sagutin, yung chart of accounts. Yung trial balance ba? At saka yung chart of accounts, pareho. Kasi itong pareho lang ang itsura ng chart of accounts eh. Nakalagay yung asset, liabilities, equity, revenue, expenses. Sa chart of accounts, makikita mo yung account titles. Tapos may control number dito. Let's say this is 01. Kumbaga, para ito na yung standard account titles na gagamitin mo sa pag-journalize. So, chart of account is the standard account titles used by the business in journalizing transactions. Hindi siya part ng accounting cycle. Ano lang siya, parang it's another tool to simplify the journalizing phase. Kasi doon mo kukuhanin, anong account title ba ang gagamitin natin? Kesa mag-iisip-isip pa yung business kung anong account title ang gagamitin niya. Nag-establish na sila ng chart of accounts na binubuo ng mga account titles na pwedeng gamitin ng kanilang negosyo. So, yan ang itsura ng chart of accounts. Nakalista lahat yung account titles na gagamitin, na pwedeng gamitin ng business. And then, may corresponding account number. So, tapos na ang ating recording of external transaction. The next topic will be the recording of, tapos na external. Dito na tayo sa internal. Kasi tapos na tayong gumawa ng unadjusted trial balance. Okay, that winds up our discussion for now, and then we'll be starting with the next topic, which is the analyzing the adjusted the unadjusted trial balance.